Welcome back to the channel. Wyggzz here yet again, bringing you some more content here on the channel. In today's video, we're going to be covering rounds 3 and 4 from our mock draft, as well as our second round pick from Ethan that we kind of skipped over in our stream. But hope you guys are enjoying. If you want to watch a shorter video here, make sure to check us out on TikTok and Instagram, as well as our YouTube shorts here on the channel. And hope you guys enjoy.
Going into the third round, I'm kind of glad that ETN dropped me. I'm not fully sold on Josh Jacobs and Derrick Henry. I still think they're going to be great, but ETN still had 1,000 yards last year. He was him and McCaffrey were the top running backs at the beginning of the year, last year, and I think for the Jaguars to produce, they're going to need ETN to do exactly what he did the first 6 games of last year.
I don't disagree with you, Ryan. I think ETN there was he's definitely to me higher than Jacobs and Henry. I think people are putting weight. Don't get me wrong, Henry is a great running back, but he's gone to the Ravens, and I get it. The Ravens like to run the ball, right? But Henry is going to be, the Ravens like to rotate between multiple running backs. That's what's going to happen to Henry this year. He is not going to have the season that everybody thinks he's going to have. I'm not saying Derrick Henry might not score touchdowns. What I'm saying is that yeah, he might score touchdowns, but I'm just saying that I don't feel that Derrick Henry is going to be as productive as he has been in years past, and I think that there's a lot better options at running back from a consistency perspective.
Anyways, moving on after Bob's little yapping session. I want a little bit to his saying that like not many rookie receivers do good. What? Puka, Justin Jefferson,
Jordan Addison last year had a good year.
Did Justin Jefferson have over 1,000 yards his rookie season?
Let me look it up. I don't know exactly.
No, I don't think he did.
Who didn't?
Yes, he did.
Did he have over 1,000 yards?
Who did?
Listen, this is what I meant by that, Ethan. Puka was an anomaly last year. Okay, that's not typically what happens with rookie receivers.
Chase did the same thing 2 years prior.
I'm just saying, dude.
Sam Brown had an amazing.
I'm not talking about the last couple of years. I'm talking within the history of the draft in the NFL. That's typically not what happens with wide receivers.
Back when Barry Sanders was running for 1,000 yards, like yeah, receivers weren't like catching a bunch of passes, but times have changed.
I'm just saying, dude.
Zay Flowers had a good rookie year. Olave had 1,000 yards his rookie year. Anyways,
I'm just saying, dude.
We leapfrogged my Achane pick in the second round. He's gonna freaking explode this year. He's like lightning in a bottle, and he's gonna score 1 million touchdowns and catch a bunch of passes. And like the only like concern is that Mostert's still there, which is a valid concern. But I feel like it's gonna kind of be flip flop. Like Achane's gonna be the starter, and just like it'll probably be like a 60-40 split, which honestly isn't bad because he was still extremely efficient in what he had last year, with Mostert having more work and like injury concerns, whatever. But yeah,
I think Mostert's going to get most of the red zone stuff.
I mean,
I think it's going to be split.
So
it was split when they were both healthy last year.
Yeah.
When they got inside the 20, Mostert would take one, Achane would take one, and then Achane would take another, and then flip-flop.
Yeah. And I think even with that, like the Dolphins are going to score enough points to where Achane's still going to be really good.
Oh, I don't disagree with you. I think Achane, he's going to be, I think in most drafts this year, he's going to be under the radar because people are going to overlook him.
I think
So
Achane would
I
be
don't.
better than Jameer Gibbs.
I don't disagree with it. I think if Mozart gets hurt and he doesn't and he's not healthy, that's even going to make him explode even more.
Oh,
So
if Mozart gets
I-
hurt, A-Chain's gonna have like
Dude,
in a massive year. Like he's gonna be nuts.
also to your point of Montgomery having a big contract, I think the Lions' game plan is to not play Jameer Gibbs a ton so he doesn't get injured. And I think the Dolphins just want to use Achane as much as possible. Especially since Mostert is getting to that age. And don't get me wrong, Mostert's good, but I do think Achane's going to be the starter.
I think Achane's going to be elite.
nope, I didn't hate that pick. I think that pick. I think that was a good pick.
I mean, it
Don't
makes sense with
necessarily
where
agree
you're
with
at.
your stuff on Diggs pick, but that's okay.
But like, why can't Diggs be good this year? Like, tell me why.
I didn't say he can't be good. I just don't think Diggs is going to be the top receiver on Houston this year. I think Nico Collins is going to have a great year.
Yeah.
Do I think Diggs will have over 1,000 yards? Yeah, I think there's a shot that he'll have over 1,000 yards. I just don't think that Diggs is going to have a Diggs type year.
I look at Diggs.
And here's the other thing: Diggs, Diggs' attitude over the last couple of years, I think, has affected his play.
I disagree.
Like,
I think it's made him better. Diggs has always been the one dude on the team who is the main focus for defenses. Now he has Hank Dell and he has Nico Collins. It's going to make Diggs that much better. And Diggs is still going to be the number one wide receiver, and CJ Stroud is going to ball out. So
On top of it, then they have Joe Mixon and what Noah Brown as their wide receiver 4. Like I think Diggs is gonna have like a really solid year. I don't know if I would have taken him over Mike Evans, but I think somewhere here in this third round, probably later in the third, early fourth is where I would have taken him. But
I look at Diggs as a cheaper Ayuk. Like, even if you think he's going to be the number 2, like, there's a bunch of mouths to feed in San Francisco. There's a bunch of mouths to feed in Houston. I think Diggs is better than Ayuk, just as like a sole football perspective. Like the situations are similar, and I think Stroud's
I
better
just
than.
think Diggs isn't going to have as great a year as everybody thinks. That's what my gut's telling me, and that's what I go with.
Fair enough.
Oh,
Moving
did I
on.
mention I was the champ last year? So
Pacheco. Tell me about Pacheco.
so here's my opinion about the Chiefs. They've got the best coach in the NFL in Andy Reid. Andy Reid adapts his offense. I hear what you're saying, Ryan, about Patrick Mahomes and stuff like that. But here's what I think is going to happen this year. I think the Chiefs, especially at the beginning of the year, are going to become more run focused, and they're going to use Pacheco a lot. They're not going to have Rashid Rice. Yes, they got Patrick Mahomes. Yes, they got Travis Kelce. And I get it. They haven't had a number one. What they did last year was great. But I'll be honest with you, I'm not high on the Chiefs this year. I don't. I think that they'll adapt, but I think that teams are catching up to them, and I don't. I think they're going to have a struggle this year making the playoffs.
In their division?
Listen, listen, I know everybody looks at their division and they think that it's going to be the Chiefs automatically, right? But
Yeah.
listen, the Raiders played really strong at the end of the year last year. The Broncos, yes, they're most likely not going to challenge for the division, but you can't bet against Sean Payton. Yeah, he's an older coach and stuff like that, but he's coming into his second year. He's got a quarterback that he wants to use, and he finds a way to make the offense work. But the team that the team in that division that I think everybody's going to overlook is the Chargers. Listen, I'm not a huge Jim Harbaugh fan, but when he coached at San Francisco, he didn't have he didn't have a great amount of talent there either. The Chargers have a solid defense. Harbaugh likes to run the ball. He likes to use the time of possession and stuff. I think that division is going to be like the AFC North. They're going to beat up each other, and I think any one of those teams can win it.
I don't know if I agree with that. I think, okay, like the Chargers were supposed to have this like solid defense last year too, and they couldn't even like compete in games like they should have won. And like you had better talent on the offensive side too. Like you just literally got rid of your two best receivers on your team. Now your wide receiver one is Joshua Palmer. You have what, two rookies coming in. Quinton Johnston, whatever his name is, was a dud last year. Like,
Ryan has something to say.
I just don't want to skip over this. I'm gonna disagree with you again, Bob. The Chiefs won the Super Bowl last year. Let's just get that sunk in your head. Yes, they're losing Rashid Rice, but like you said, they still have the yeah. And they obviously still have the best coach in the league. I don't think they're going to switch anything up. I think they're going to do exactly what they did last year, and I think they're going to not run more because they have more weapons at wide receiver now. Maybe you think that because Rashid Rice is out for the first 4 weeks, but why would they risk Pacheco getting hurt to play Clyde or Cedric Prince or whatever his name is? I think they're going to do the same exact game plan they did last year and just adapt on the fly. And they have Hollywood Brown now and Xavier Worthy.
I agree with what Ryan said. I also think Pacheco is going to be good. This is not just like overlook Pacheco. I feel like he's good. He's going to score touchdowns and he's going to catch passes. He's going to be good. But is he going to come into like a Derrick Henry type of workload? No.
But I do think your pick there was the best pick you could have made because you needed a running back. Yeah. And it was either Pacheco or Rachaad White. And I think either one of them, I personally would have took Rachaad White, but I think either one of them's the right pick.
Well, here's my hot take for anybody that listens. It would not surprise me if the Chiefs do not make the playoffs this year. Everybody can sit there and say that the Chiefs are going to win the division, but teams are catching up to them.
And not like nobody in their division
is going to bet my net worth.
Like what teams
are catching up to them, guys? That's my hot take.
And I'm sorry, but Travis Kelce is still dating Taylor Swift. Your prediction there is just no.
Yeah. Travis Kelce is distracted, old, and he did not play well last year during the season. He is going the opposite direction. And yes, they got Hollywood Brown. But Hollywood Brown, he's not the answer. I'm just saying. That's just my take. We can move on, though.
Someone cut this man's mic
off. Mean, I think it's a little faded on the Kelce point. I do think Pacheco there is like pretty good, and I do think he'll be utilized more. I don't think they're going to change to a running type offense, but they don't have Jerick McKinnon, and I think they're going to use Pacheco more in the passing game. So I don't know. That's all I have to say about it. I think Kelce is going to be fine. I think that's a little faded, but
moving on.
Jalen Waddle. Well, of the receivers like that went in the next round too, I was kind of like going back and forth between Waddle, Metcalf, and Pittman. I think those three of those, like, what, 6 in that area were the guys that I was going to be choosing from. I was kind of hoping that Pacheco would drop a little bit because I wanted to take him, but I think Waddle's going to bounce back from last year because he had a really mediocre year last year, and I think his year this upcoming year is going to be quite a bit better.
I think Waddle's going to be really good. I would take him over Debo and DJ Moore. I think he did really good there.
See, I was like on the fence between him and Pittman, but I just don't know how Richardson and Pittman are going to be this year because they really didn't have like a strong connection last year, and a lot of Pittman's production came from Minshew.
And JT's back, and they added AD Mitchell.
Yeah.
I like that. You did good. Moving on. CJ Stroud.
Honestly, I think he's just gonna go for a shit ton of passing touchdowns this year, and I think he's gonna have more points than Mahomes. That's the only reason I pick him.
And then you also picked him over DK too. When you talked about you considered picking DK there.
I felt like if I let Stroud go, that he would have just been snagged by the time it came back to me next round. Like, yeah, I really wanted to take DK because I think DK is really good and he's the clear-cut wide receiver one in that Seahawks offense, but I kind of just wanted to guarantee Stroud.
Fair. That's fair. Moving on. Would you like to speak about James Cook without causing any controversy?
The only reason I took him was because DK was taken. So had DK been there, I probably would have taken DK as my pick.
Why James Cook over Mixon or Kamara?
I took Cook because I just feel like Cook's gonna have a really good season. I think that I don't think that the Bills have done enough to. I think the Bills have got a plan right now with their offense, and I don't think it's going to be a pass happy plan. Yeah, they got a rookie receiver. They've got Kincaid and stuff, but I think that James Cook is going to be more active in the offense. So,
I agree with that.
and I felt that I just felt that he was my best option for running back at that point. And the only reason, as you guys know, last year in fantasy, the only reason I got rid of him is because I don't like to have my quarterback and running backs on my same fantasy team. That's the only reason I got rid of Cook last year. I don't like that combination for fantasy. So that's just me. So that's why I took Cook. I thought at the time, that he would be a good match with Checo and I'd have a good solid, starting two running backs. And to be quite honest with you, I was surprised I got somebody else later in the draft at running back because I think he's going to be a solid running back this year as well. So.
Anyways, moving on. Then I went Cup, Mahomes, Devontae Smith. I took Smith. I would have picked either Smith or Cup. Those were kind of the two that I was in between. I still have faith in Cooper Kupp, and I still think Devontae Smith is just like he's been consistent his first 2 years. He's been really good alongside AJ Brown. The Eagles' offense is going to score a lot of points. Not a lot of expectation. Moving on. Right.
I took Zay Flowers. I think the Ravens are still going to be a top team in the NFL. They're still going to make the playoffs. I think Lamar is going to be the same old Lamar. And Zay Flowers had a really good rookie year, and I think he's going to be that much better next year.